You are listening to the Cubby Podcast with the Cubby Cast and your host, Tyrone Lewis.
That's my song.
Welcome to the Cubby, guys. Thank y'all for coming out. It's your host, TLou. TLou, do what it do.
Do what it
You know what it is. You know why they call me TLou, do what you do, don't you? But
That's right.
Do, man. Make it do what it do.
Mr. Make It Happen himself.
The phrasing is in the word. You know what I mean? Got a special guest in the building. We got the owner, the founder, the OG of it all. We got Blue of Club Blue. So we gonna go ahead and chop it up for him. We're gonna go chop it up for him, making sure that he knows that he got that kudos on him. You had to find it, man. But it's your host, TLou. TLou, do what it do. And we're in another episode of The Cubby. We're professional over here now, dog. So welcome, y'all.
But you're not doing that no more? You're not doing that no more, TLou?
What?
That's my shit.
Nah, we ain't doing that no more.
Hey.
Yo, for y'all don't know, man, this is the guy that put on for our intro and our outro music. He's the theme, he's the beat, he's the cause of the Cubby, man. His energy is our energy. So once again, I'll give y'all the rules before I get to my man. No, so without the rules, what the fuck we got? We don't got nothing. Without rules, what we got? Don't matter where the rules come from. You just need rules.
That's a fact.
So, without further ado, these are Cubby rules. First rule of the Cubby is that there are no rules to the Cubby. Second rule of the Cubby is whatever you bring, you got to finish. What you got over there, man?
You know, I got some niceness, you know? Some niceness.
Third rule of the Cubby is be yourself. Ain't nobody worried about you in the Cubby. Fourth rule of the Cubby is stay on your P's and Q's because you never know what happens in the Cubby. Fifth rule, the most important rule, we don't never forget about this rule. You only get 3 times in the Cubby. This is first time in the Cubby. We're going to get to who we at is. He's actually been here every single time because he does the theme music. If you're going to talk about it, let's talk about it. Fifth rule of the Cubby is that you only get 3 times in the Cubby. Once those 3 times are up, those 3 times is up. Go ahead, man. We got our guest in the building, a very close person to me since the age of what, like 6?
5.
6, 7. 5?
5.
Damn. Nah, I had to be 6.
5, 6.
Nah,
5,
I think it was 5.
6.
Nah,
5,
I think it was
6.
5. It was definitely 5.
6.
Now,
You had to be.
Can't say y'all got relationships that long. Wrong or right?
So check it. It had to been 5 because my mother got married when I was 5 and you was there.
That was Blondie, wasn't it?
Right.
Yeah, see?
Right, and you was
got
there.
Foundational memory.
Right, you was there.
I was there.
Right next to me when my mom got married, bro. Right. As a matter of fact, Tyrone, that's the only wedding I've ever been to. And that's how I know.
Go to more weddings, bro.
And that's how I know you was there because you probably the only person I remember like really being there besides my mother and Blondie. Like I know my family was there, but like I don't remember them being there. It was so long ago.
Yeah, I was there. That's what it's all about. But let the people know who you are, because they just know a figment now. So go ahead and introduce yourself. Tell the people who you are. Tell the people what you're about. Tell the people your brand that you represent. Go ahead and tell them a little bit about Club Blue. Yeah,
you know, it's your boy. I'm the founder of Club Blue. My name is Blue. I named the club after myself. You know, this is actually the hat I'm wearing right now. As you can see the emblem. No squares allowed.
That's why it's a circle.
Yeah. You know? Yeah. Yeah. That's definitely why it's a circle. But square. Let's talk about a square for a second, you know. And the square mentality. Tyrone, what do you think a square is?
A square is a 4-line. 4 straight, non-productive, forward-thinking, non-escape line. There's no value to it. It's just 4 of those put together. That's what I think.
All right, well, the squares think inside the box. So anybody that thinks inside the box, that accepts regular status quo, they shouldn't wear this clothes, and they're not allowed in the club.
Jesus, man, we're not going to talk about separation.
We're not rocking with
podcast,
them.
Man. We inclusive.
We're not rocking with them.
But tell the people, for the people that want to get the apparel, for the people that are not squares and they more fluid, forward-thinking people, tell them where they can get the clothes at.
Yeah, you can go to clubblue.com. As you see, blue is spelled BLVU with a V. So that's BLVU. Go to clubblue.com. And you should sign up and join the club. You get there's a lot of benefits. So let's talk about club membership for a second. Hold
on. Before we get into club membership, I got a couple quick questions that I got to ask you before we go deep into the brand. I see you out here marketing and pushing it forward.
Okay.
You here as the Cubby. For those that do not know what the Cubby is, let me go ahead and explain it. Just really wanted you to hit my mans up and know who we going to be speaking to today. But if you don't know what the Cubby is a social media platform trying to highlight those in the community, pushing it forward. Not only that, but it's just a couple dudes in the room just talking about how to get from point A to point B. We have special guests on our episodes to show you how to get from point A to point B. We got different perspectives. We got different lives. We talk about what it is to be real or be kind. And like I mentioned before, and I got to ask you really quickly, the premise of the episode today is when you become successful and the people that's around you, how do you remain grounded the higher you go up when there is blood in the motherfucking water?
Blood in the water sounds crazy. I just want you to know that. Blood in the water sounds really, really crazy.
So define that for me. What do you think blood in the water is? Because I can tell you my son. Because there's a lot of blood in the water sometimes when you get successful. I want to know your opinion about that.
Blood in the water. That's such a good. Oh damn. Better now?
That's such a good question. That's such a good question.
No, it's not such a good question. It's just a good phrase. Blood in the water. Because when you become successful, you never know what's going to come at you. And it comes at you for all kind of angles, and you never will be expecting it. And it comes from people that you probably wouldn't even expect. And now you're bleeding.
Like who? Like family?
Family. Definitely family. Definitely family. Because you would never...
the closest ones to you.
Let me tell you something. You would never expect your family to be the one to trip on you. And you'd be like, didn't you tell me these are the rules? And wasn't I playing by the rules that you set up? And I did it the way you said. And now you're mad. How come you're not happy? And now... You would never think that your family member would do something crazy to you because it's successful. Or your friends.
The price of success, though? You think that's the price?
It is the price of success. I don't think it could be any other way.
I don't know, bro. I think you could. I don't think it could be any.
Nah, I never heard anybody else and have a story different. Because when I was younger, I thought, yeah. Everybody could love each other when it happens for everybody, because I was raised to be like that. And I would, but then watching how everybody else is, that's just not how it goes. And when you see the people in your family,
there's no hope.
Is there no hope? Wow, Tyrone, that's such a hard thing to say.
Is there no hope? Let's talk about it. If we gonna talk about it, talk about it.
Wow, damn.
Is there no hope? There's no hope.
People are unpredictable.
Fact.
And you never know. You never know. You really, really never know what somebody would do to save themselves.
That's
you know?
Fucking fact.
So So because of that,
and I think I'm one of them. I do, bro. I'm being honest.
But
I think when my back is against the wall, things happen.
But T, you somebody I could count on. And you always been somebody I could count on. And what I want to say about the people that I'm talking about, the reason why I know what I know is because of these people that I'm talking about. You can't count on people like that. And because of that, T, you're right. There's no hope. If I had to give you a definitive answer right here, right now, if you asked me if there was hope for the future and people changing that, I would say no, because people are unpredictable and you would never know what they would do.
Damn, brother. We had to come to that conclusion so early in the conversation.
It's no. Tyrone, let me tell you something. You like me. You real black and white. You real black and white. So if we're going to be...
way to be?
Right. There's no other way to be. So if we're going to be like that, and I had to give you a yes or no answer, that's the answer, because I give you 1,000 reasons why. People are just shit.
Well, the great Martin Luther King Jr. said, I have a dream, man. I have a dream that people of all colors and people of all creeds can come together and not be subjected to the elements of blood in the water, man. I really do. But it all is because there is weakness in some people, and there is strength in others. I'll put a fact. I have to put a fact on it. So the question of the matter is,
that was a big factor.
That was a huge fact.
That was a big fact.
I want to get this question out because it's important. Here at the Cubby, we talk about 3 levels. We talked about this entrepreneur here and how he's taking his clothing line and he's taking it to the next level, saying that there's no squares allowed. I was on the other side saying, man, you got to be inclusive, man. You got to let squares in so that you know who the circles are. He was like, nah, no squares around. How does that translate into how people are treating other people in this day and age? You think people are really much inside their tribal circle now and they exclude everybody else? Or is it vice versa? So is everybody in a bubble? Is everybody in a bubble?
I want to say people are in the matrix. I don't know where people are at. You know, I speak to people on a day-to-day basis and they don't know what to believe in. They don't got no hope for the future.
Well, you just said there was no hope.
No.
You just said there was no hope.
We were talking about something in particular that I said there was no hope for. You know what I'm saying? Not for us as a people. Us as a people, there's definitely hope for the future. But, you know, there's no structure and there's no real culture. There's no morals, there's no principles, there's no values. People don't live by those things. You know.
What do you live by? Your principles and
my morals, my principles, my values, you know, honesty, integrity, loyalty, things like that. That's what a real house is built on. That's what real love is built on.
Honesty, morality. So how does your clothing brand at this point in time kind of reflect those images that you have? Are there certain fabrics that you have coming out? Is there certain things that you have going on that kind of echoes your embodiment of what blood in the water is to me?
I don't know about if I can embody blood in the water for my clothes. The biggest expression that I wanted to convey right now was the slogan that I have on the shirt is no excuses, because that's how you're going to be able to accomplish things in your life. If you really want to be successful, if you want to do anything, you want to pass the test, you got to take tomorrow. You're not going to make no excuses about it. You're going to do whatever you have to do it. You're going to sacrifice. You're going to dedicate yourself. You're going to make it happen. If you do not sacrifice and dedicate yourself, it will not happen. And then you will have an excuse about why it didn't happen. But if you want it to happen, you wouldn't make an excuse.
And I think that's why on your branding, it says no excuses. It seems as though you kind of embody that whole lifestyle. So who else can you contribute? How is the people around you showing you that they're not making any excuses? What are the things on a day-to-day basis to hold people accountable?
So, you know, it's funny that you said that, right? Because I know people that I work with that make excuses. people printing the clothes. You think you are, if you printed 100 shirts, you would know, especially if you was dealing with me. Not to have any excuses about why it's not happening at this time when you said it was going to happen at this time or at this date. But I can't tell you that people are not making excuses, because people make excuses every day. People make excuses at work.
Excuse you heard? What was the last excuse you heard? And shout out their name. I want name. I want name. Was it the seamstress? Was it the wholesaler? Don't give me their brand, because you still got to work to it.
So the last excuse I heard was the guy at the laundromat, right? And it was this shirt actually. I had a stain right here. You see a stain right here?
Yeah, nah, I don't see nothing but the word.
Because the reason why you don't see a stain is because I went back in the spot. So I took my clothes to the cleaners, and I told him, I got a stain. I want you to get rid of it. He said, all right. Didn't get rid of it.
That was his confirmation, right?
I said, hey, what happened? I thought you said you was going to get rid of the stain. He said, oh, yeah, I remember this one. It was kind of hard and blah, blah, blah. I said, oh, so you can't get it done? That's all right. I'll just take it somewhere else. Just give me my stuff back. How much you said I owe you? Here you go. He said, oh, no. And his excuse turned into, all right, I'll fix it. Please let me fix it. Give me a week and I'll fix it.
Reputation. People, when they have a mass reputation, that's short money. A bad reputation is short money. If you have a good reputation, it's like credit.
Mm-hmm.
If you have good enough credit off your reputation, you're able to get anything you want. But if you out here messing up, fucking around, not delivering on deliverables, people not going to take you serious. It sounds to me as though you feel like you got too many of those in your circle at this point in time.
What? People making excuses?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe you translated or transported yourself a whole new level, man. How do you get more people on that level that you want? That's the gripe that I have.
That's the Mamba mentality. That's the Mamba mentality.
How do I get people on
you Mamba? Are asking for literally a miracle. That's the Mamba mentality. Kobe did that with his basketball team, honestly, for a couple of seasons. That's all that really happened. Because outside of those couple of seasons where they went to the finals, his team was bad. It was Kobe willing the team to win.
Yeah, but Kobe didn't really win when it was just him. Remember, he got kicked out of the playoffs a few times. Remember when he was transitioning from 8 to 24? He done lost a couple playoffs.
That's what I'm trying to tell you.
In the playoffs.
This is what I'm trying to tell you. This is how hard it is to really embody.
Kobe can't do it.
The no excuses. You know what I'm saying? Because all you need is 5 players to just do it. But then you don't need 5 players to do it. You kind of need 10. You need the coach to hold people accountable. You need people in the organization to hold people accountable. You really need a lot of people to be willing.
Successful. You need a lot of people
to be willing to be looked at as the bad guy sometimes. Because nobody wants to be the bad guy. Nobody wants to tell people.
Nobody wants to meet the bad guy.
Nobody wants to tell people the absolute truth. If you were to tell people the absolute truth, which is whatever the truth is, whatever the truth may be, but the truth is scary to some people and it hurts some people, and because of that, people don't want to speak the truth out loud, and they allow mediocrity, they allow excuses to live on because they don't want to be looked at as the bad guy. They don't want to be the bad guy, because if you told them the truth, somebody would say, "Oh, well, who are you to tell me this?" And if you really looked at the person that's telling you that, they're probably somebody who's justified in telling you, but you don't want to hear it because it's the truth, and now that person's a bad guy.
Can you trust people like that? You personally?
Me?
Yeah.
Well, I don't trust anybody, so the answer is no.
What you mean? But you in business, and you just said it takes a bunch of people for you to be successful. You got to trust somebody in that organization.
So, all right. So
you need a number 2.
all right, so you got to trust people to do. You got to trust people to be who they are.
Fact. You know who else said that?
What?
DMX said that.
Wow. I didn't know that.
Hey, yo, you gotta trust people for what they give you.
Yeah.
What else are you supposed to trust? You give them the leadway and the grace, but if they show you a certain way, then just trust them to do that.
You know, because
live your life happier. OD.
Right. You could I have trusted people more than I should have.
Like you don't trust nobody.
Right. I've trusted people more than I should have. You know what I mean? And at the end of the day, you just gotta trust people to be who they are, be who they always showed you that they are. And that's what they'll be at the end of the day.
Yeah, you're right. I am 100% on board with you like that. For me, this is what I do. And I told you all these things about expectations. I don't receive or provide expectation of things only because I want people to show me what they can do in order for me to put them in a place within our relationship that I know what can work and what not work. I'm just setting myself up for failure if I expect you to do something that you're not. But if you not necessarily prove, because I don't want to use that word, but if you're yourself and your actions happen, I just know you to be that. If you a motherfucker that don't show up, we all know you don't show up. So on the 7th time you coming late, I'm gonna get angry with you because you don't. Nah, you showed me this behavior. That's why when you said the Mamba mentality, and so I think the hardest thing to do in life is to be a leader.
Oh, hold on. So you right. But I should have told you about the real last excuse that I heard. That wasn't it.
So you're gonna give me another excuse. I thought we had that one excuse.
Because when
you've been hearing a lot of excuses, brother.
So somebody said, yo, you know, I need you to be ready in the morning, right? So I told my son, I was like, yo, listen, you should know this person by now. You know this person your whole life, just like I know this person. And they're not going to be ready in the morning. You're worried about nothing. Oh, but I'm like, you know, you got to trust people to be who they are. So the morning came. He was ready. Their friend wasn't ready. Oh, you know, I'm over here and blah, blah, blah. That's all right. We're going to go get something to eat. And we're going to do this because I already made plans because I trust people to be who they are. You know what I mean? I already knew the excuse was coming. So I didn't think anything of it. Even when you asked me about it, I didn't think anything of it.
Get that mentality or that behavior from? Where did you first learn that?
I want to say I learned this as a teenager from my uncle. My uncle, my Uncle Terrence. We call him Uncle Doctor. You know what I mean? But
so he instilled that in you?
Yeah, I wanted to be a basketball player. So I was pretty good, but I didn't have like no real structure.
Man, he was good.
I was.
Nah.
You know what I mean? But
you just told the people I knew you since you was 5, bro. You just told the people you was all right. You had a jumper. You could drive to the lane.
So I was pretty good. But I didn't have no structure.
That's a fact.
You know what I mean? I didn't have no structure in how to really play the game because I knew how to play because I taught myself how to play basketball. So he was like, look, this is how you really play basketball. And this is what you're going to have to do to get to the next level of basketball. And that was a whole lot of hard work, sacrifice, and dedication I wasn't prepared to do as a child. And I had to do it to get to the next level. So I did it. And once I did it to get to the next level, I was like, damn, you know, this is really what you got to do. This is how you're going to be able to accomplish your goals in life. This is really what it takes.
So how did you translate that into the clothes? How do you translate that particular behavior into owning your own apparel line, fashion line?
I want to say, you know, when I got laid off, you know, it was basically, you know, sink or swim. So I had to do something to keep myself productive, to keep myself afloat, to keep myself working, you know, to keep myself alive. Couldn't make any excuses about it. These bills got to get paid. So here we are.
So what was the first thing that you did? Did you do the logo? Did you seek out the clothes first? Is the clothes the most important thing or the logo?
I want to say they're both simultaneously important. But the first thing I actually did, I did do the logo first. I did the logo first. I trademarked everything first. And in the process of me doing that, I went looking for the clothes. Because once you find the logo that you're gonna put on your clothes, you can move forward.
So first step, point A would be logo, establishing a brand, getting an identity.
Yeah, that's the first thing you want to do.
So being that you're successful in this endeavor now, and I've been with you for a while, and I just see the growth. You got something coming up recently, don't you? Some event, some sort of community sort of outreach that you're doing. Speak to the people a little bit about that.
Yeah, June 6th, we're gonna have a launch party. We're gonna have our first official pop-up, a launch party, and going up from there. All our exclusive gear is gonna be there. I have some new stuff that's not even on the website yet. I'm thinking if I'm gonna put it on the website, maybe not, because it's super, super exclusive, and it's only gonna be at the pop-up shop first.
So you're gonna have exclusive things at the pop-up shop.
You're gonna have exclusive
different items. You're gonna be able to do what at the pop-up shop? What's the main grab? We out here to party. We out here to do what? We out here to do a little bit of community outreach. What are we doing at the pop-up shop?
But the pop-up shop is the club's launch. This is our first official launch party. So the pop-up shop is for the club. It's for everybody to come out, support the club, and it's for the club to let everybody know that we're here and we're here forever. This is what the hat symbolizes. If you see the logo on the hat right here, I don't know if you're familiar with this sign or not, but it's
So you can go ahead and explain it. Ain't nobody stop.
All right.
Explain the sign on the hat.
It's an ancient Egyptian sign. It's the flail. And it's this symbol right here means eternity.
They all not gonna be able to see you. This is audio too, so you gotta describe what you mean. You mean the
hook. So they call this the crook and the flail, right? Mm-hmm. So the crook or the symbol is eternity. That means eternal life. And the flail, the other part of the symbol, is means kingdomship or kingdom. So it's basically trying to say, the kingdom lives forever, the kingdom reigns forever. And you see on the side of the hat, it has our logo. So what I'm trying to say is that Club Blue reigns forever. The launch party is here to show you that we'll be here forever. We're gonna have a lot of merchandise. We're gonna have a lot of different vendors there. They're gonna have exclusive merchandise, and things are only going up from here.
Thank you for that, man. I think that's a perfect time. As soon as you plug away, I'm gonna try to plug away too, man. So I think for this segment, we're gonna have to try to see if we can pay some bills, man. And we have our flagship sponsor that we usually use here at the Cubby. Once again, if you want to get in contact with the Cubby, you can contact us on Instagram at the CubbyCast. You can find us on Facebook, the Cubby. You can email us at thecubbycast@gmail.com, or you can just find us on our website, www.welcometothecubby.com. But this episode is undoubtedly brought to you by Alki Consulting Group. The Alki Consulting Group is a management consulting agency. Our consultants advise startups and adolescent stage organizations in business strategies, innovation, business development, risk management, and more. By defining the present and securing the future, the Alki Consulting Group represents a clear mission to revolutionize and personalize the management consulting business for the digital age, ensuring consistency, accountability, and strategic alignment are attainable and affordable. From the seed idea to the final product, ACG uniquely focuses on operational advancement through process design and procedure. Documentation. Welcome back, man, to our second part of the Cubby. Second part
I might
of the
like
Cubby
that song
here.
a little bit too much, huh?
We have our guests in the building. Once again, we have Blue from Club Blue, the owner, the founder, the OG of the clothing brand that everybody needs to go ahead and look into. But we're speaking here today about a couple things. We're speaking about what it is to be successful and the pains and the ups and the downs that come with that. That's called Blood in the Leaves. Not Blood in the Leaves, Blood in the Water. Blood in the Leaves is a Kanye song. I know that. But we're sitting here and we're talking about that. And we have Club Blue here. He gave his background on where he's coming from and just his ideology that helped him get from point A to point B. He already knows the rules of the Cubby, man. You know, very worried about you in the Cubby, man. Be yourself. There are no rules in the Cubby. So I got a couple quick questions for you, man. Especially about you and being successful now and coming from the same neighborhood you came from. What's the one thing that you could give thanks for that you grew up with that takes you so far in life right now? One thing that you learned. I'm gonna ask you either whether it was at Lawrence Road, it was back in Union High School, Baldwin, out here after school. What is it about the neighborhood that imprints on you so that when you do come into these temptational waters or people stabbing their back and snakes in the grass, what keeps you grounded?
The thing I learned in the neighborhood is morals.
Is what? Say that one more time for me.
The thing I learned in the neighborhood is morals.
Morals.
That is the thing. That's the one thing that I definitely learned growing up in the neighborhood is morals. I want to say, if I could give it to one. Yeah.
So your morals are not universally present where you go, where you arrive, who you meet. What else?
No. What'd you say? I couldn't hear you. What'd you say?
What are some differences that you see versus your morals versus other people's?
People are dishonest.
So people lie. Yeah, that's fine.
People are extremely dishonest, and
you gotta put facts on that, bro. You can't do anything about that.
Facts. So say fact, right? Facts. That's how you say it, right, T?
Yeah.
Right. So people are extremely dishonest. Deceit. People are extremely deceitful for gain. You know? You want to know one thing I definitely learned in the neighborhood also is money. What people are willing to do for money, what they're willing to sacrifice for money, how they're willing to compromise their morals for money, integrity for money. Money.
Well, money is the root of all evil.
Money is the root of your true personality.
And most times it's evil.
I don't think it's evil.
Unfortunately.
Tyrone, I can't say it's evil. I just think money is the root of people's true personality. So if that's who you are, then that's who you are.
Yeah, and what I'm saying is most people, that's who they are. They're evil. That's what I'm saying. Money is just a mirror.
And I also want to say that people judge people off of how they make their money, and they shouldn't.
I think that's a fact as well. But I think that is universal status symbol that people hold dearly. They think if they're doing something better than you or in a more righteous manner, they look above you. That's just a human character.
So now this goes back to morals.
Unfortunately, once again.
Because who are you to say that, what you do is so much better than him? People will look at the guy cleaning toilets or the maintenance man and say, hey, he's not anybody. And that's not fair because, he's a man and he's providing for his family. He's doing great things. You remember Caesar from the neighborhood? He had a daughter. He worked in the school. He had a nice house. Caesar did well for himself. But, people that pass up on a person like Caesar to date, a six-figure guy, seven-figure guy, because he's supposed to be luxurious or whatever, and, be upset about whatever happens with that. So,
well, I think, honestly, I'm going to keep it factual. I think women are a big reason for that.
Yeah.
Women within itself look for security more than anything. So if they deem you as more secure, then they value you more. And if they value you more in the sense of just an immediate gratification, they're not going to look at the man most of the time until they're older. And they see, my man that was a janitor just stacked up $250,000 in the last 10 years while you shooting for the guy that's actually living paycheck to paycheck because he's spending as much as he's bringing in. But it's just, I think women is the cause of that. just my truth.
Yeah. I have to agree. I have to concur.
But it's not up to us. I think as men, my personal opinion, you got to stay resolute. And whatever they think would be the answer, we have to make sure that we have a vision in order to provide whatever the end result is. That's just my opinion. That's just the side of things that I look into.
I have to also agree with that, Tom. I think you make a great point.
Definitely. I think it's a perfect segue to go into something that we call facts, man. I'm gonna ask you a few quick facts. Just a few, nothing too quick, nothing too explanatory, but
so if I say it's not a fact, I can say false.
You could say whatever you want, but you gotta listen to the fact. I don't know why you asking permission to answer. Whatever you want to answer, you can answer. I don't got no stronghold on your answer.
There's no rules of the Cubby. That's right.
Nah. That's all you can do. You can say fiction. If you want to say fiction, you can say fiction.
Fiction.
That's not a problem.
All right.
You can say, nah, I don't fucking down agree with that shit. I ain't cool. That's not a problem.
All right.
I don't think people put themselves first.
Facts. Big facts. I don't think people.
That's not fiction on that, brother.
Nah.
I don't think most people take care of themselves first, man.
If I had to categorize people in 1 to 10, 3 out of 10 people put themselves first.
Wow, 30%, huh?
Yeah, and I think I'm being generous.
Do you think you're being generous? You really want to go 2.5?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think people take care enough of themselves, and I was actually guilty of that early on. So for me, I sit there and I ponder, why am I disvaluing myself in an area that people is already valuing? I would stretch myself thin. So I always tell people, man, the main goal, you first, man.
Absolutely, me first. It took me a long time to realize that too, and since I've been picking me first, I want to say my life has been much better. And again, when you pick yourself first, you're going to be the bad guy sometimes. So that's why a lot of people don't want to pick themselves first, because they don't want to be the bad guy.
Yeah, man, I think that's a beautiful point. I always say that, man.
That's what it is. See, nobody wants to be the bad guy. They don't want to say the tough things. They don't want to, hey, you know what? I don't want to do that.
Yeah, I'm too comfortable with that, though.
You know, people want to say that.
That's why I think I get a lot of backlash.
Right.
Because I'm too comfortable. I got another
Again, honesty. Just saying.
Honesty. People are not honest. And that's the thing we all got to live with.
Right.
That's the thing we all got to live with. We got to put ourselves in people's faces and be like, oh, man, this person, if you're saying 3 out of the 10 people don't put themselves first, then how are they supposed to tell you the truth?
And then you're looking for these people for advice.
Then you're looking for people for advice. That's why, man, I always say in business, they always ask you, greeting is, how's the family? You want to know why they ask you that?
Wow.
Because they want to know if you're stable enough to take care of something else before I get into business. Are you stable? You have a home? Are you going to be a liability? Can you manage something effectively before I even get? Imagine someone giving you $150,000 and they say, "How's the family?" And you're like, "Nah, I'm just out here in the street." How the fuck they supposed to trust you, Don? How the fuck they supposed to trust you? That means wherever your ambitions are or your desires, that's where my money's going. Now, I want to know if you are putting this into something that can grow. Are you building an asset with the money that we're going to be making? If not, I'm losing money with you.
Wow.
That's the sort of level people got to get to. And that's the doors that I've seen, that I've walked through, and people break it down to me and they say, yo, bro, listen. Everything is included. Personal, professional. There's nothing. If you're really about this life, what you do is who you are.
Right.
You're really about this life. So that means if you're doing this successfully, everything else around you is successful. If not, then this isn't your priority. And if it's not your priority, and you can't sustain yourself to build this priority, why am I getting in business?
Right.
What credit is about? Well, everything is tied. It's just a thing. And we all got to talk about it and pass those messages. You've done given me a lot of knowledge throughout the years And I think it's been vice versa. And that's the duality of a friendship. You can learn, you can build off each other. Whatever I don't know, you know. Whatever you know, I may or may not know.
All right, so T, this goes back to my point right here. It's good that you said that, right? Because I know you for pretty much my entire life. I don't know two people like you that share the principles that we really share. And that could be like that. Maybe I know one other person that could be like that, but I can't say I know two people like that.
Well, I would say yes. I think that's accurate. I don't think you've ever met anybody like me, only because we are individuals. And I would put on top of that, I think you're expecting too much of them. I do.
Nah, I don't think so, T. I think I expect men to be men, and I think the sensitivity of the new age man, the current man, is a lot more.
You don't listen to Dawn of Man, is what you're telling me. You don't listen to that episode. That's all I heard in that speech.
Man, listen, I listen.
Yeah, it's bad out here.
You know what happened. You know what happened. You know what happened. All
right, man. We gotta take. It's just like this. It's just like any sort of subset of people that show love. You gotta take the good with the bad, man. You gotta take the good with the bad. If not, you're just gonna rack your head in and become isolated. You gotta take the good with the bad, man.
So I want to say the biggest thing that you helped me with going forward in life was expectation.
Expectation.
Right. You said,
gotta let it go.
You was like, yo, B, right. You was like, yo, you expect too much out of people. Why did you expect them to behave like this or do that? I was like, because that's what you're supposed to do. He was like, nah, that's what you would have did. Maybe I even would have did that, but that's not what people would have did. And then you get to see how people are, right? And then you're like, damn, people are crazy. Like, people will do anything. That's why I said money. If I have to re-answer the question, if you want to know what I really learned from the neighborhood is money, because what people will do for money is the damnedest things.
Money and fame. Money and fame. The limelight, the lights will kill you.
The lights will kill you. The lights will kill you, but the money will kill you faster. They'll just do whatever.
So what do you say to the people that's been at the top for so long now? How they doing it? How did they build a construct around them to stay successful if the money will kill you? They had to put up walls and shields or something.
Yeah, I think this is what I'm really learning now at this point, because I'm into a new level at life. I've never been at this level at life before. So now I'm really focused on protecting my energies at this point in my life, doing things that make me happy, things that make me at peace. Again, you have to put yourself first. T, you ask me, yo, how many people put themselves first? Maybe 3 out of
30%.
10 people. Maybe 3 out of 10 people, because even me, when I was becoming successful, I still wasn't putting myself first.
You're putting the work
first. You know what I mean? Right. Just people first, anything. Because
we all victim to that, brother.
That's how a lot of people are raised. A lot of people are raised, especially, when you're Black and you don't have a lot of resources. You're raised to just put everybody else before you.
I think you're 100% right. I done seen a lot of things, and I think that's why this episode is called Blood on the Leaves. As a matter of fact, it's not. I think that is why it's called Blood in the Water.
Blood in the Water, that's what it's called.
Because once you, let's say you're a great white and you're out here, now you sniff a little something in the water. What's that? Somebody bleeding. Now, guess what? I'm attracted to. I'm not attracted to the blood. I'm attracted to the weakness. I'm attracted to something's out here that I can take and I can nourish myself with from a standpoint, from a certain point in time. I could eat. I could get fed all off weakness. And that's what people do. So when you're successful and you that big fish in the water, you get a little cut because life cut you a little bit. How do you handle those strengths? And those sharks come in to feed on your weakness. And I think that's what we all have to think about moving forward. And how do you cope with stuff like that?
So I smoke. You see right now I'm smoking. because I just
So
gotta
you
keep
numb it is what you telling me. You numb
yeah.
it.
I try to just keep cool, keep calm. Thank God weed is legal. Big shout out to America for that. It took you a long time.
That's the only time I've known you for 30 plus years. And that's the only time I've ever heard you say that type of shit. I don't know who you are. I don't know what the hell that. What did you just say? We got that on wax.
Pull that back. What I said?
Nah. First rule of the Cubby is I don't know rule of the Cubby. Second rule of the Cubby is whatever you bring, you gotta finish. Third rule of the Cubby is be yourself. You done said some shit. You done got cut. You see, that's where the blood in the water is now. You're gonna see a crack in your foundation. Nigga, you said what? Fourth rule, stay on your P's and Q's, but you didn't. And fifth rule, you only get 3 times in the Cubby. Once those 3 times are up, man, those 3 times are up. You're having a beautiful time in the Cubby, man. I'm here with my best friend, OG, coming from the same block. I used to walk out my house, make a right, make a left, make a right. I'm at his house. That's how close it was. Everything, 100 grand. So we think differently, and I encourage those that do not have somebody that is this close to get them on your podcast. Highlight their brand and their business ideas and strategies, and allow them to talk about what it is to be successful. I implore you to do that. I encourage you. So for people that have not met the individual that I just mentioned, please go ahead and introduce yourself again, brother. Tell them who you are. Tell them why you're here, a little bit about yourself. A couple of things to highlight what makes Blue Blue.
Well, my name is Blue. I'm from Long Island, New York. I'm the founder of Club Blue. Club Blue is a clothing brand. And right now we are empowered by the phrase, no excuses. You're either going to make it happen or not.
Period. Exclamation mark. Semicolon.
Period. That's it. You're either going to make it happen or not. There's no other way to talk about it, man. You're either going to make it happen or you're not going to make it happen. You can talk about things and you can say, oh, blah, blah, blah. You got to make it happen. You got to put the work in. You got to sacrifice. You got to dedicate yourself. You got to grind and you got to make it happen.
So what is the number one thing that you like being where you at right now? Best thing in your life right now is number one thing. And be careful.
Freedom.
People be listening. You got your shorty out there. She be listening. What's the most important thing in your life right now, brother?
Freedom. Freedom to make your own decisions. When you wake up in the morning, at least when I wake up in the morning, I get to go work out. I get to have a good peace of mind and map out my day so I know what I'm going to do next. I want to say freedom is the biggest thing. When you become an entrepreneur and you employ yourself, you have the freedom to do things, the freedom to be at peace. And I think the freedom that you get, the peace that you get from the freedom is going to allow you to be successful in ways that you never imagined in life. Stress can kill you. I don't know if you heard that. I don't know if you heard that. That was really, really loud motorcycle. But
yeah, I thought it was either that or a very big rat.
Stress will kill you. I watch stress break some of the best people I know, because pressure, when they say pressure bursts pipes, they're right. Pressure bursts pipes, but pressure also makes diamonds. So what I want to say is the best thing you could do in those moments is just be at peace. And, if you employ yourself, you can find ways to be at peace. You can work at ways to be at peace. This has been the most I've been able to work at being at peace. And this is why I want to say I'm successful the most, is because I'm at peace. I have the freedom to do this. I have the freedom to do that. And I bet on myself. It's risky. It's scary. It really is. People are going to call you crazy and they're going to tell you shouldn't do it, but you should do it. You should bet on yourself because you're gonna win.
Let me ask you this quick question. Do you feel like you relate to a lot of different people that don't have that mindset? Can you really put yourself in their circle and their space at certain times if they don't have that certain mindset? Or does it bug you? Does it bother you? Because I'll be honest, it bothers the hell out of me. And it's something that I had to cope with mostly all my life because a lot of people don't think like that. So what are your strategies when you're in these areas dealing with those people? I ask these questions for very specific motherfuckers.
So
because I know
honestly,
you don't. No, hold on. Let me get this out because this is the second part of the question. What strategies are you employing in your daily life that allows you to be in the company of these people that does not have that mindset?
All right. So when I wake up in the morning, I read. I have like a book that I put together of I don't want to say quotes, but it's more like a lifestyle and things I would like to convey for the day. So, for instance, today was honesty. Today was just to be as honest as possible. You shouldn't deny yourself anything. You shouldn't lie to anybody. You should just be honest as possible. That's what's helping me deal with people from day to day. I just try to live by the principles in the book. I can't hear anything you're saying. Are you saying things?
You didn't hear me?
No. After I said book, I didn't hear nothing.
I think we had a little bit of technical difficulties. I may be losing my voice. I'm not sure if you can hear me. Can you?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
All right. So I think I'm back. If I'm not, we just have to rock like this. But what agreements are you talking about? Because it sounds like a book called The 4 Agreements that was given to me by a very close person of mine. And if you do not know about the 4 Agreements, the 4 Agreements is a set of 4 rules that you have to live by. So have you heard about this book? Not to plug it, but to plug it. The book called 4 Agreements.
I think I have heard about it, but
that's not the book you were talking about.
No, the book I'm talking about is called The Sage. I wrote it when I was incarcerated.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
It's actually a compilation of a few books. One of the books is the TLou. Another book is it's a comedic book. I have another book. I can't remember the exact name of the book, but I know it has the 7 Hermetic Principles. There's a book in there about how long.
It's a lot of books.
It's a lot of books.
It was just 7 straight off the rip, and I know you had about a good 4 in the chamber.
Right. So there's more books. I can't tell you
what has reading done for you at this point in time? Because you just said you wake up in the morning, and I asked you how did you cope with those people?
Reading. Yeah.
Is it reading?
Yeah, honestly, it's reading because it's reminding me of exactly the space I have to be in to deal with. Damn, I don't know how else to say this.
I think you should just say it.
But all right, so it really allows me the space to deal with idiots. Okay. Because this is what's going to happen. You're going to deal with people that are just thinking completely opposite because they're an idiot. Then you're going to deal with people that are trying to manipulate you and make you feel obligated to do things that you don't have to do. You're going to deal with people that are deceitful and trying to trick you throughout the day. And if you're not centered, right, and if you're not centered, you're going to be bombarded and it's going to be a whirlwind. You're going to say, hey, what happened? But you have to really take your time and center yourself for the day. Sometimes I have to do it twice. Sometimes I have to come back, And
you know what I do? I take a shower.
The world is crazy. Yeah.
That's what I do. I put water on my head. Because a lot of people don't understand the importance of water on your head. Water in your head is a transformational process. If you wash all that stuff away, you can make it seem like an act of transformation if you just put water in your head. So sometimes if I get real stressful, kind of taking into account the blood that I might have spilt, and now there's sharks in the water trying to get me, or there's snakes in the grass trying to rattle, I just take some water on my head. Now I feel like it's a whole new person. So it sounds like your reading allows you to do the same thing. It puts you in a different space so that when you come back out, you're informed better. You got a different set of rules and skills that you can apply. Would I say I got that right?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. You know, I want to say,
I think that's something we all need to do.
I want to say, the best thing any kid could do is just be proficient at reading, because reading has taken me places I've never been.
Wait, time out. Reading is what?
Reading has taken me places I've never been.
Reading is motherfucking fundamental.
Reading is definitely fundamental. It's definitely fundamental, but it's taken me places I've never been. And I don't think people talk about reading enough. And if people read more, they would be, I think they would be different. I think people just want to hear other people talk and listen rather than, you know, actually do the work and do the knowledge. And if you do that, I think everybody would be better.
All right, so let's take this on a macro scale to close this up, because I really want to understand this. And I believe in the law of averages, 5%. I believe that people are selected to do certain things. That's how I've always been chosen in my select opinion.
Right.
The good thing that I like about this podcast, and the good thing that I like about most people that are successful, they leave clues, they leave gems in order for you to be successful. I do not think in my state of mind, unless you go through a transformative process or a process in order for you to change who you are as a human, that you are equipped to deal with the things that life gives you for you to reach a certain level. Now, you can be happy. I'm not saying you can't be happy. I can't say you can't be content. But there's always a select few that goes above and beyond those glass ceilings that you encounter throughout your daily day. I say one of them, steadfastness and discipline. Those are my first two. You got to be steadfast and you got to be disciplined.
You got to be what?
That steadfast and discipline, which is similar but not the same thing. The other thing that you got to do is you got to be able to not take yourself too seriously, because you're going to get hurt. You're going to lose. So you got to be able to pick yourself back up and go away. I know I asked you before, how do you deal with the people that can't relate to that sort of mindset? But the thing that I want to ask you is sort of, how do you deal with people, and where have you gone, and what are the different sort of relationships that you have compared to those that are not like that with those that are like that? What are some specific things that you've accomplished within your life that you can bet on, or you could claim that was because somebody had the right state of mind in order for us to move forward?
You said, what are the things that I accomplished that I said happened because of somebody else? Because
somebody that had your similar mindset. What are some experiences in your life that you've accomplished that you could attest to say, yo, if it wasn't for this person having that same sort of mindset I have, I wouldn't be here today?
I want to say you, T.
Appreciate you, brother. I didn't know that was coming out, but I'm put kudos on that. I didn't know that. I thought it was gonna be somebody with a with a little bit more knowledge or something.
So you know, we didn't grow up with our fathers. Like, let's be honest. I didn't grow up with my father. I grew up with you. You know what I mean? So I came home from prison, and me and you talking on the phone. Nigga, you live in California.
That was a fact, yeah. I was in California.
You live in California, this big ass condo, or whatever the fuck you want to call it. You know what I'm saying? And we just talking. You know what I mean? And we just talking, shooting, just talking regular. I'm listening to you, and you're telling me stories about your life and the things you did. right? And now here I am thinking about my life and the things I did and the things I have to do now to go forward in life. And me and you grew up the same way, T. I speak to you now. You're not some different person that I met, that I grew up. You're the same person. You think the same way I think. The same exact way. Look at you.
I'm looking
young,
at me. I'm sitting here
black,
talking to you.
Successful. So there was no reason for me to sit here and not be the same way. And it's 2.5 years later, no excuses. And it's 2.5 years later, and look at me now.
Yeah, you better than me.
I don't know about that, but
you better than me, dog.
But
ain't shit, man.
But T, that's really what it. You know what I mean? Like that's really what it is, because I don't know anybody like that. We didn't come from nowhere that's what people's really doing. People got a job.
Before you go forward, I just want to put kudos on that for just saying that, especially for me to be somewhat of a measuring stick in a sense, right? We grew up the same way. We did what we had to do. And for you to say like, yo, that's me. And I always tell people all the time, I think you're the smartest person I know, not only because of what you know, but your application of it.
Right.
Applying. You've always been able to apply certain things. And no, there are not people like you. And that's what I told you 2 years ago. Stop expecting people to be like that, bro. That's going to be the downfall. And now that we both grew in that, now we at a platform where other people are listening to our testimony and where we at. So nothing that can't be accomplished, man. You can do all things.
Right.
You could really do all things. But I want to ask you this. All things, anything. I want to ask you this before you leave today, man. You got to give a love is love statement to the people. I don't want to go first, because I always go first. So I'm going to give you the opportunity right now to just say a love is love statement. Give something to the people that they can walk away with, something that they can attest to when you are successful and you have those sort of trials and tribulations and you may be weak at a moment and these things are bothering you. How do you stay afloat? How do you put energy towards getting from point A to point B?
Man, just stay humble and remember why you started. Remember why you started so you can finish. Remember how important it is to finish. But remember the first day you started. Remember how that feeling is. If you can remember that feeling and how important it was that day at that time, and you could keep that for the entirety, you'll be all right. You'll be just fine. Because you got to keep that hunger.
You got to keep that what?
But you got to keep that hunger. But you got to stay humble. But you got to keep the hunger.
That sounds like, are you the same beast or a different animal?
Right.
That just sounded like. That's that mama mentality in you. That's great.
You gotta stay hungry.
Different animal. That's true, man. That's definitely true.
You got to.
I think everyone knows, and if you haven't known, my love is love statement is more of a decisive sort of thing. You got to decide to stay hungry. That is it. I think the person who is starving is the hungriest, right? So always remain starving, in a sense. So
but you gotta stay humble. You gotta stay humble, T. You can't forget that.
If you're not humble, somebody's gonna take it. If you're not humble, somebody's gonna take it. That's just a fact. That's a life fact. That's 1 + 1 = 2. Because if you are showing off and you're thinking that you're better than, life will humble you at some point. Mm-hmm. Comedy is life, man. Life is comedy. Is comedy life? You just got to use those 3 words. Because if you don't use those 3 words, you're gonna find yourself in a whole heap of trouble. You're gonna go through the same emotions. You're gonna be happy. You're gonna be sad. You're gonna do things that are gonna put us in a state of confusion. It's gonna be indecisive. You got to decide to go out and just have a perspective. It's not that serious, and I can get through it. You got to decide to laugh. Comedy is life. Life is comedy. Is comedy life? Just use those 3 words. Anything else, big bro? Before I wrap it up and say, as I always say, can't stop, won't stop, Rockefeller Records.
Well, June 6th, we're going up.
June 6th, we going what?
June 6th, we're going up. We got an official launch party for Club Blue. You know, all my merchandise is going to be on clublou.com. June 6th, the official launch party is happening. West Hempstead, Long Island, New York. June 6th, we're going up. It's going to be a great event. We have multiple vendors that's going to be there. There's going to be a lot of exclusive merchandise. June 6th, we're going up. I can't wait. It's going to be exciting. T, you going to be there?
Yeah, I'm not going to be there.
Man, listen. If you miss it. Boy, listen.
Shorty told me get about the corner. Mama told me get about the corner. My brother with me standing on the corner. We slang a pack of smoke of marijuana. Cause all I know is young and go and get it. And forever get money if you need it.
That's it?